How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of A Playmaker's View. I'm your host, as always, Jayme. Today I have Ian Lohse joining me. Ian is a commit to Missouri University for baseball. He's a great athlete. I'm excited to have him on. Young talent. He's really developed his skills and really knows the game well. I'm going to dive into his career, how he kind of trained his body to be in the spot that he's in now, and all that good stuff. I hope you guys get a good chance to get a view of him, of who he is, and for any of you Mizzou fans out there, he's going to be a great talent over there. Probably get a starting spot, if not this upcoming year, the next year. So hope you guys do enjoy this episode, and without further ado, here we go. All right, guys. So like I said, I have Ian on with me today. Ian, thank you for joining me. First off, I want to introduce you for the viewers. Can you give them a brief overview about yourself, kind of who you are and what you're doing right now?
So my name's Ian Lohse, and I'm signed with Mizzou, and I'll be an incoming freshman. I'm in the 2020 class, and yeah.
Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about your passion for the game. So, when did you start playing, and was there someone or something that kind of got you into baseball?
Well, I started playing kind of around like when everyone kind of does, like around like that 4 and 5 age. And it kind of just all kind of stemmed from like my dad, and uh, going to games with him, and it was just kind of something we shared together and something we both loved playing and watching. So it kind of just all started from there.
Gotcha. At a young age, did you know that you were going to be able to play in college, or was it kind of tough for you to grow and develop?
I mean, it was always like a dream of mine, and looking back at it, like I never really told anybody this, but it was kind of like I had like this gut feeling where I was kind of just knew that one day if I worked hard enough, I could, you know, play college baseball and hopefully play at an even higher level than that. So it's always just kind of like I've always had this feeling that I could always just do it, and I was always confident about it and never really had any doubts. And eventually, I it happened for me.
Gotcha. So, talking about that hard work, what kind of things did you do? I mean, you did Mach 1, but what other things did you do to help you prepare for, you're throwing in the low 90s now? What kind of things did you do to really develop your skills?
I mean, obviously, like, a lot of weight training, and, there's a lot more things that people don't really think about, where like this year, I tried other things. Like I tried doing Pilates. I went to different chiropractors and therapists just to try to get my body healthier,
Yeah.
to be able to, just be able to consistently throw at the velocity I'm at and not get hurt and just feel better overall. And so the weight training was a really big part of it. Doing Mach 1 with Andy, he obviously is like a huge reason I'm here.
Yeah.
And, just him kind of saying, you need to work on other things other than your strength, and, just stuff people don't, you generally think about.
Hmm. Yeah. So, do you have any other role models besides people like your coaches, or is there anyone in specific that you would like to, I don't know, thank or just really appreciate?
I mean, there's a lot of people like Andy. He's really, been a huge like person there. He's helped me so much. The gamers organization. I wouldn't be here without them.
Mhm.
Um, Recently, this past year, I started working out at a different facility, and they've really helped me at elite. Um, and just like looking at like major league players, like Clayton Kershaw, he's like a guy I always like aspired to be. And just as an overall just a person, I've always like looked up to my dad because I just think like he's one of the best people like I could ever like try and be. And
For
so
sure.
that's just kind of, people I've looked up to, people that have helped me along the way.
Yeah. So looking forward, what are you most excited about going to Mizzou? Have you been talking to their coaches? What is it looking like for you? Are you going to be starting? Are you going to be relieving?
Well, so I've talked to the coaches a few times. I'm really excited, just the fact that there's going to be a lot of competition. First of all, I love competing. It's like my favorite thing about the game. Um, just the access to everything I'll have, like, meals and weight training and all of that, just to try and get as good as I possibly can. I mean, my goal is to go down there and obviously, go down there and start. That's my goal. Um, I really appreciate how Mizzou, they haven't really been like saying they've been completely honest with me. They're not going to go like, oh yeah, this is your spot on the team the moment you get here. They're like, they're like, you have to work for your spot. You have to show that you can compete. You have to be a good teammate. You have to work harder than the next guy. You can't just come here and expect a spot. And so that's something I really appreciate about them.
Yeah,
And so I'm not sure where my spot is right now, but my goal is to go down there and, be a starter.
for sure. So looking back at your whole career, has there been a special game or I guess season that you've really appreciated? I don't know if you've had any state runs or anything like that.
I mean, obviously, like last year, my high school, we went to state and heartbreaking loss in the finals, but that was a really cool moment, just being like in that environment with all those people they're watching you pitch. And it's really like it's a really cool thing, and I hope like as many people can experience that.
Mm.
um and obviously, like besides a game, I really look back at when I signed with Mizzou and all the work I put in to get that goal, that like milestone in my career. And those are kind of like the two things that like I look at and they kind of pop out to me.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you, the Gamers is a really good organization. I wanted to get your opinion on teammates and just having those guys with you. What is the impact of having teammates and guys around you?
I think a great thing is that, we're we're more than like just a team. We've been playing with each other for I mean, I've been playing with some of the guys on my gamers team for almost a decade, like almost 10 years. Like it's more of a family than a team, honestly. And I think that's a big part of it, like you go out there and you're more comfortable around those guys and you're not afraid to mess up. And if you do that, they're going to back you up about it.
Mm.
And just the overall environment, everyone's putting in as much work as the next guy, and it really kind of pushes you to be better.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, what are your goals for the future? Obviously, I mean, being drafted is probably one of your plans, but if that doesn't pan out, what kind of things would you be looking to do in the future?
um Besides, just trying to get drafted, I would say one of my, I guess, passions outside of baseball is working with athletes, kind of like what Andy does or what like a trainer would do. I'm going into health professions like physical therapy. And so that's kind of one of my passions. So, baseball doesn't ever pan out. That's definitely like something I would be extremely happy with, is kind of working with athletes and, making them healthy, getting them better, you
Yeah.
know.
So, baseball obviously is a pretty important thing in your life. What do you think, if you could sum it up in one word or one phrase, how has baseball impacted your life? Or I guess just sports in general?
I mean, it's kind of made me the person that I am today, Obviously, with all the work that's put in, you miss out on, going to hang out with your friends sometimes or going to parties, but it's all kind of worth it because, you look at where you were and what you've accomplished and how it's changed you for the better as a human being, just over in general as a person, not as a baseball player, but just how it's made you a better person.
Mm.
And it's just something I'm really proud of, and it's all kind of worth it. And that's why baseball, that's just kind of it's a special thing for me, and it always kind of will be for that.
Yeah. So for anyone in sports, is there any kind of message that you would have? You're going to be a Division 1 player, which a lot of people dream to be as a kid. So what was something that you would say to them if they're looking to be in the spot that you are right now? So is there something, work hard, or I don't know, just any piece of advice that you would have for athletes out there?
For like young athletes, I think it's really important to have fun with it and, play as many sports as you can. I think that's a huge thing.
Hmm.
Don't be like 10 years old and playing like one sport, go out and have fun and try as many things as you can. Try and be an athlete, you know. And as you get older, working hard is a huge part of where I'm at. But the biggest thing is you have to remember that it's not baseball's not a job. You can't treat it like a job. You have to remember that it's a game and that at the end of the day, it's made to go. That's a huge thing for me is pitching, getting rid of, anxiety or whatever it is, just reminding myself that it's just a game and you got to go out there. And at the end of the day, all my hard work will pay off. I just need to go have fun
Hmm.
and it should work out.
Yeah. The last thing I want to ask you, have you had any sort of difficulties with um, getting better? Like, have you, been down on yourself because you haven't been able to reach your goals or just the mental aspect of it? How have you been able to overcome obstacles?
I think the biggest thing for me is obviously it's extremely discouraging for anyone when you work really hard for something and you're not seeing the results. I mean that's kind of how it is for everybody, but I think the biggest thing that because obviously that's happened to everyone, including me, and I think the biggest thing that helps is just reminding yourself that you know it's just now, and who knows, maybe tomorrow you're better than you were yesterday, or maybe in a week you're feeling better and you're hitting the ball harder, you're throwing the ball further, or you're throwing harder, or you're running faster, you're jumping further, whatever it is, that it's just now and you don't know what's going to happen and in the future. And so I think for me, like the biggest thing is like, I don't see results and just try to remind myself like, that it'll come
Hmm.
no matter like it'll come. You work hard, it'll come.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a really important message. I think that's gonna do it for us today. If you have any other final thoughts, I really do appreciate you coming on. And I know you're working hard. What are you doing this summer to keep in shape? Are you playing for summer ball?
Yeah, so I'm playing for the A's, as my hat says here. The Athletics, they're we've been playing out at some Legion Field called it's at Rock Memorial and like Imperial. Um, and then I just joined a collegiate league. It's we play out in Car Shield. So I've been doing that to kind of just stay in shape for when I get down to Mizzou. So that's been really good, and I'm super and overall I'm just really excited for the what the future is going to bring for me.
Yeah, man, you got a bright future. I appreciate you coming on. We'll talk to you soon, and I want to thank the viewers for coming on to another episode of A Playmaker's View. We'll be back with you guys next week for another episode.